Man, I don't know, help me out. Which one do you guys like better? You guys like the Z or the Miata? The Z or Miata? Nothing against the Z, but I always gotta go with my Miata. It's so dear to my heart. Well, as you guys know, this is my Ecotec Miata. I've actually pretty much, it's been Ecotec now for probably about 4 to 5 months. And today I'm gonna be talking about basically my experiences with it, and am I gonna be keeping it, like the swap itself, or am I gonna be moving on from it, just from my experiences with it for these past 4 to 5 months that the car has been Ecotec swapped. All right, before we get into it, I'll kind of just break down for those of you that don't know like my car or anything. My car is a 1.6, it's a 1992 Miata, and before I did the Ecotec swap, it was actually a 1.6 boosted car. I had the baggy turbo manifold and everything on there. The car made about 225 wheel, and I was pretty happy with it. But at the same time, it was just like pretty much a cheap turbo build. So back in December, I was kind of looking through like what do I want to do next? Like what kind of, I've always wanted to do a motor swap and everything. And you know, there's Ecotec LS, you know, K Miata, and there's the J swap series too. So I kind of had like a lot of swaps to choose from for a Miata platform. The LS and, you know, K swap, they're gonna range from 10 to like 12,000. You guys have seen Taylor Ray out there. He just made his video, and his LS Miata is really dope, and he spent about like 13 grand just to do his swap. So I was kind of battling between like the J series is probably a little bit cheaper than the LS and also K series, and then the Ecotec. So there's a few Miatas out there that actually have been like successfully Ecotec. I know that there's a couple guys out in California that have done them, and then I think me and 2 other guys on the East Coast that I know that actually have done Ecotec swaps. So obviously I went with the Ecotec swap, and I would have to say that the Ecotec swap is one of the cheaper swaps that you can do for these cars. It's gonna cost you probably about, with all the parts, if you're doing it yourself, you could definitely do it for about $4,200 to $4,500, and that's really, really cheap on the list compared to, you know, the J series or the LS or K Miata. So it makes a good platform like Ecotec Miata. You can check out their website. They say 200 to the crank, and then you're probably going to be ranging from 175 to 180 wheel, which obviously the car did made that to the wheel on the dyno 175 before it blew up. Anyways, so my experiences with this car is the swap itself is pretty cool. It is torquey. It literally, it does not feel like a Miata at all. You have low end power right away, and it kind of feels, I guess you could say, like a V6, maybe even like a kind of like a V8, because it has so much torque just right off the bat. My experience with the Ecotec swap has been, I guess you could say, not the greatest from the standpoint that all the swap components itself are good, but the motors I had the worst time with. Over the past year that this car has been getting swapped and everything, and me driving it like only 3 times, I've gone through 3 to 4 motors now. And so like the first 2 we didn't even put in the car. They had metal in the oil pan when we took it off, so we didn't even use those. And then the 3rd motor we put in, it was all good. The car like ran nice. It was pretty stout actually. We put it on the dyno. It made like 175 wheel, and then like the 2nd pull, the car just grenaded. The motor was just gone. It was toast. So we're like, well, that's pretty much a bummer. We put a 4th motor in here, and then I got the car back, and it ran good. Everything was pretty good as normal, I guess you could say. And I was driving it back from Caffeine Octane. As you guys know, we made, I think, 2 videos on it, but the head gasket blew in the car. So we're like, all right, this kind of definitely sucks, but I mean, it's nothing that we can't fix. So we definitely knew it was the head gasket. It was blowing white smoke out the back, and then there's like, the oil was milky and everything. So we're like, all right, that's fine. So we put it in the garage. We tore it all apart. We replaced the head gasket. While I was in there, I put ARP head studs into the motor and everything. So I was like, oh man, I'm pretty pumped about it because, you know, I was able to put ARP headsets into it if I ever wanted to go boost, which I was going to, or like supercharger. We put everything back together. We turned the key over, and the wiring by the ECU over in the left corner of the engine bay just started smoking. We're like, well, that's like super weird because it didn't do that before. So I was like, man, I'm not a very good wiring person. I don't really do wiring. So I had another shop kind of look over the wiring, what was wrong with it. Turns out like the grounds kind of were messed up, so they redid the grounds for me. The car started back up, and then we noticed that obviously either the head is warped on it just from overheating, from the head gasket blowing, and that's kind of where we are now. Is the head is warped on this car, just because it runs pretty bad. The car starts, the car will drive, but the motor definitely feels like it's either low in compression. So this motor is definitely toast now. So now we get to talk about where we going, because the car has pretty much been off the channel for like I think it's been about 3 months now that the car has not been on the channel, just because it's been down at shops. We've been fixing it with the head gasket and everything. And I kind of just wanted to take a break because it was just frustrating altogether really with the car. Anyways, we're back now. Now I've made the decision what I really want to do, and we're gonna be ditching the Ecotec. And you're probably like, dude, you literally swapped an Ecotec in there, drove it for 3 times, like you kind of just wasted your money. Well, I guess you could say that for some people, but I took it out of the aspect that I had a really good learning experience, and I really wanted to do a motor swap in general, so I was gonna do it in the first place. Now you're probably like, why are you gonna go back? Why don't you just put a new motor in there? So I could put a new motor in, but I would want to put a refresh motor in, and it's gonna cost me probably like even $1,000 to $1,500, even more than that, probably for a refresh motor that's from Alpha Fiber, even Ecotec Miata. So I kind of looked at it and I was like, man, if I spent just a tad more, I could just go back to a Miata platform. And that is what I'm gonna be doing. So a lot of you might be like, dude, what? You're gonna go back to a Miata? But yes, I literally miss their reliability and the endless parts, how cheap they are for a Miata. And so I'm not going back to a 1.6 like this car is. I am going to a 1.8, and I'm going to a 1999 to 2000 motor. Those of you that know the 99 and 2000 motor, that's the 2 years that they actually made the BP4W head in these cars, which is like the best flowing head that you can get out there that they ever made for Miatas. And then after that, it's like the VBT. But I'm picking this motor because it's best. This motor and the head combination is best for an NA build, and also with the correct intake manifold and all that, and a mega squared ECU, you can make around 150, 160 wheel with these cars. I'm not gonna be shooting. I might do a different intake manifold, square top, maybe even try like a Skunk 2 or something like that. But I'm gonna be keeping the car like NA for a little bit so I can do a lot of track days, because I've been missing my car to do track days. I literally put seats in the car and I haven't been driving on the track since a year ago. The big reason I'm definitely going with this motor, because it's the head for one, and also I'm going to be going back to boosted Miata probably within a year. I'm not too sure. I just want the reliability. But anyways, that's kind of the gist of it. Like I said, we're gonna be ditching the Ecotec. So it will be for sale if anybody's interested. I'm gonna sell it for a good price. It will come with the transmission that's already cut, everything from Ecotec Miata that you need. It's the full swap kit. It'll come with a full exhaust, custom exhaust that you need for these cars to be routed and everything. It will come with the Alpha Fab ECU and Alpha Fab harness too. And it will come with this motor, but obviously you're gonna be needing a new motor. But if I had to rate my experience with the Ecotec Miata, it was fun. I learned a lot and I gained a lot of experience, and also, you know, I met a lot of people that I wouldn't have from doing the Ecotec swap. And like I said, I think the biggest thing is I learned a lot and gained a ton of experience with swaps, and then it helped me, you know, learn Miatas a little bit more. So before we close this video out, let me just give you guys a quick walk around. So this is currently how the car sits. I mean, obviously it's the Ecotec swap. It's got the 1320 header. That's the ECU over there. And then the whole bay is tucked and everything, but I got the Mishimoto radiator. So the swap itself, it looks so good in there. It pretty much looks like a Miata motor too. So let me go ahead and start it up for you guys, just to show you. The car does start, it does run, it does drive, but like I said before, it drives really, really rough. Oh, good memories. I haven't been in this car in forever. All right. You can hear the fans turn on up there. Saving the race car now. Those are solid mounts up there. That's why like it rattles so much in here. I don't know if you guys can see that little like tiny revs. Literally got smoke streamed out right there. The whole garage is like smoky now. Woo! I don't know if you guys can see that. See all the smoke. Alright, I'm gonna turn that off. I'm like dying out here. Woo! That was pretty bad. Anyways, guys, now that I kind of described where the Miata's been, what we're gonna be doing with it, I'm pretty stoked to start like swapping everything over and going back to a Miata platform, because like it's gonna be so much more reliable, and it's gonna be, in my opinion, it's gonna be a lot more fun, just to go back to something that like I know is going to be like reliable for the track, because that's basically what this car is for. It's just reliability, beating on it on the track and everything. And I'm really stoked to go with the 99 to 2000 motor. So I hope you guys are too. For the time frame for this, we are going to be starting right after Thanksgiving. I already have everything, like I said, motor, trans, harness, everything that I need. So we're going to be swapping everything back over, and hopefully we can have this car back up and running, back at Miata again. And by like Christmas time, maybe the first of the year, we're gonna make this thing come back better than ever in 2019. I hope you guys are stoked. Some of you might be sad that we're going back to a Miata and ditching the Ecotec, but I think it'll be better in the long run. But anyways, guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and peace out, guys. See you in the next one.